clear one up front.
What time are we going to?
First 200 meters is on you. Right when you get there now.
We want to be there for 12?
Still inside, top of three, top of three.
Trump's not
Top of
dead.
three, tight, top of three. Still top of three. Still top of three, tight here. I'm going to push you though, still top of three. Two left. Nine's off by one. Top of three. 43 on the bottom. You in the six, bumper clear, clear, clear. 2 on half back, clear. Clear by one. A half of the six. Come inside. Inside, 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide. Clear. All clear by 2. Whatever you need here. 2 to the 6 by himself right now. 1 in front. Here's the 71, clear. By himself by 2 in front, nothing pushing him.
Dino, a really good spotter, also a good race car driver. He won 4 Xfinity races, won 2 at Nazareth, 1 at South Austin Speedway, 1 at New Hampshire. Kind of that driving career ended, and as soon as it did, he became a spotter, and he is one of the very best.
We actually heard 2 voices there, and some teams are using 2 spotters because of the difficulty of seeing in turn number 1. Dave Nichols, a tire specialist for that team, is subbing as the second spotter.
You know, balance more accurate vision with 2 people on the radio at the same time, or potentially, tire racer between teammates.
And he bounced up the racetrack as he went through turn 2. That's Elliott in the 9 that's making the pass now on Bowman.
How intense the battling is back here. You know, we talk about the lead a lot. Josh Berry is leading this race. Remember, he spun earlier. The strategy's got him out front. But this back here is chaos. It is hand-to-hand combat.
Most in line. You see the 22 of Logano, though. Busher on his outside. He wants to be in front of this field.
Yeah, 13 to go here in stage 2, and an interesting radio transmission a moment ago from Chris Gabehart to Denny Hamlin. Listen in.
All right, Denny, I don't want to force any mistakes on you, but let's go back to all last year. If you have anything in it, I'm good. Let's go.
So what he's trying to do, Steve, is eliminate drivers who could short this stage possibly, so that gap, the delta from the leaders, about 15, 17 seconds already. Kyle Larson, 15 and a half seconds behind. How far could Denny Hamlin put people out of the game, in essence, to be able to short this stage?
And Marty, I think they need enough fuel. I know we talked 15 seconds before the race, but some of these pit stops we've seen it down to like 12 seconds. So look right here on the left-hand side. You have Keselowski and Busher right about 10 seconds back. So this is what it looks like on the racetrack. What the 11 is trying to do is increase that gap to the 6 car. If he can get that over about 12 seconds, then the 6 cannot pit with 3 to go on the stage. He'll have to stay on the racetrack because he'll go a lap down. Now, if he can go fast enough, maybe he can even eliminate the 19, who's the next guy in the running order. Now, I think at Elliott and Blaney, that would be a long stretch here. But you see the 6 and the 19 racing. Hamlin loves that. Get side by side, guys, for a couple laps. Slow down. Now, if you're the crew chief of these 2, you're almost not racing each other. You're racing the leader who's 12 seconds in front. That sounds crazy, but Jeff, if you're my driver, I might say, hey man, we can't give up time to the leader here because I have to help you see the bigger picture of the whole race.
Yeah, that's right. And when Chris Gabehart asked Denny Hamlin, hey, step it up, I need some speed, Denny tried, but he really isn't faster.
Right.
So he was already operating at max capacity. But the advantage of that is, okay, what does your car need to do? Now the crew chief knows he was getting all he could get anyway. And you're right, these guys here, they got to be pushing. They got to be going as hard as they can to get their strategy to work. More battling on the racetrack. 77 car on the bottom of the racetrack, the post car. Oh, wow. That was Gilliland on the outside of him, and Osavar just came up.
And these 2 have had some moments over the last 4 or 5 races.
Yeah, these are the things we talked about Osavar earlier, about how, he's a young driver, he's aggressive, but these are the things that drivers talk about, they don't speak favorably, right? And he's racing hard, man. He's a young kid, he's racing hard, he's doing all he can, but those are the things he needs to eliminate moving forward.
I'm okay with that move. If we're a couple laps to the finish, I'm squeezing the jet. We're not even halfway yet. That's not the time to kind of run across the 38 front bumper.
To be fair, are like so competitive at this level. I mean, you have to give 100% if you're going to compete at this level. And you can say, well, he's running terrible, he's running 28. Well, it's difficult in 28. It is good race cars, good drivers that you're competing against, and you have to be operating at the very limit of your abilities. And when you do that, you're going to cross over every now and then.
Kim.
And as we continue to be embedded with the 38 car, we talk about racing being a family affair. That rings especially true for Todd Gilliland's Jackman and front tire changer. Courtney and Cameron Edmonds. You see Courtney right there in the blue. You'll see Cameron in the second in the gray suit. They're the only pair of brothers in the Cup Series pitting together on the same team. It was older brother Courtney who got bitten by the NASCAR bug first. He told me it all started with his dad, who's a resource officer in Carrion Sea. He ran a camp. They took a field trip to Hendrick Motorsports. He was so impressed, he raved about it, came home, told Courtney he really thought he would be interested, but it wasn't until his senior year of college he gave it a try. Courtney's been in the sport for 7 years, Marty, and then after watching his brother Cameron followed suit, this is his first year in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Jim continuing to keep an eye on this battle for fourth. Martin Truex Jr. has it right now, and after winning stage 1, stage 2, the car handling has gone away. Listen in.
All you did with the adjustments earlier is take the back out of the track. You said 2 hard spots in turn 3. Damn me, but I'm still not turning in 1. Alright, well, the adjustments ain't good. I don't know. I can't go no further now.
Boy, a lot for James Small to digest there, and Parker keeping an eye on what Steve mentioned a moment ago. Steve, it's now 9.4 seconds that Truex is behind his teammate Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, and that's assuming they still want to short the stage. I assume they do, but they're battling that gap to the leader, Denny Hamlin. 8 to go in the second stage at Pocono.
And he said you also have to keep in mind the regular season points battle. We're in the mix of that. And Kyle Larson not having a fantastic day today either, so they could gain some ground on that as well. So these stage points plus that playoff point for Chris Gable, too much to pass up here for Denny Hamlin.
I think it's the same for Chase Elliott in the 9. While we don't think about a playoff point, remember, he's in a regular season battle with Kyle Larson. As they run currently, he's only 1 point behind in regular season points. That's why the 9 is thinking, I'm trying to race for that bonus. Mark.
Right, Stephen. Throughout this run here, the team in the 9 box has been giving Chase Elliott influence with his gap to Denny Hamlin. At one point, they asked him to go hard and try to run him down. That didn't work, so they backed him off again to use just fifth gear. But throughout this run, they've been comparing him and the 11, telling him where he's beating because they want to set up to try and find where they can find a little bit more speed. I think they've been one of the fastest cars in this race, although they haven't led a lap. They've carved through the field twice in this race, and maybe have to do that in stage 3 here.
Spent some time with Alan this week in the garage area. No wonder that they find success together.
Here's an interesting statistic. The 7-time winner, Hamlin, this is the first stage he's ever won at Pocono. And he went stage 2. So Denny Hamlin grabbing another playoff point as Chase Elliott will finish second in stage 2. Keselowski, Byron, Eric Jones. Hopefully they're going to hang on to those positions for top 5. And then Larson, Bowman, Bell, Logano, and Reddick rounding out the top 10 in stage